This video is for informational and entertainment purposes only and utilizes artificial intelligence, AI. The information provided may not always be accurate. For important decisions, consult experts or professionals.
I want us to talk about Nelson Mandela today. So my first question is, who is Nelson Mandela?
Nelson Mandela is one of the most renowned leaders in world history, known as a symbol of the fight against apartheid in South Africa. He was born on July 18, 1918, in a small village called Mvizo. His full name is Rolihlahla Mandela, and he was later given the name Nelson by a teacher during his childhood, following a colonial tradition. Key details about Nelson Mandela. 1. Struggle against apartheid. Apartheid was a system promoting racial discrimination, where black South Africans were denied equal rights compared to white citizens. Mandela became a leader of the African National Congress (ANC), an organization opposing apartheid. They used both peaceful and militant methods to fight against this system. 2. Imprisonment. He was imprisoned for 27 years, from 1962 to 1990, due to his anti-apartheid activities. Despite this, he remained steadfast and never gave up on his cause. 3. Presidency. After the fall of apartheid, he became the first black president of South Africa, serving from 1994 to 1999. He promoted unity and peace in a nation divided by discrimination. 4. Legacy of forgiveness. One of the greatest lessons from Mandela is forgiveness. Despite enduring immense hardships, he advocated for reconciliation rather than revenge. 5. Awards. He received over 250 awards, including the Nobel Peace Prize in 1993, recognizing his efforts for peace and democracy. Mandela passed away on December 5, 2013, but his teachings and example continue to inspire people worldwide. What specific aspect of his life would you like to discuss?
He was imprisoned for such a long time. It's good that he was freed. Why was he released?
Yes, 27 years is indeed a long time in prison, but Nelson Mandela's release symbolizes the triumph of justice and equality. He was freed on February 11, 1990, due to a combination of factors that led to the collapse of apartheid in South Africa. Why was he released? 1. Increasing international pressure. Many countries worldwide condemned apartheid. They imposed economic sanctions against South Africa, such as trade bans and severed international relations. The United Nations and other organizations called for Mandela's release as a symbol of the fight against the apartheid system. 2. Uprising of the people. Within South Africa, protests and violence against the apartheid government intensified. Demonstrations by black South Africans grew larger and more forceful, creating unrest and destabilizing the government. Support for the African National Congress (ANC), led by Mandela, significantly increased. 3. Leadership change in South Africa. F.W. de Klerk, who became the president of South Africa in 1989, recognized the need for change. He realized that the government could no longer control the country while apartheid persisted. He ordered Mandela's release as part of a plan to negotiate a transition to democracy. 4. Mandela's importance as a mediator. Even in prison, Mandela was recognized as the leader of the fight against apartheid. He negotiated with the government for a smooth transition from apartheid to democracy. His release was a step toward starting discussions between the apartheid government and the ANC. 5. Commitment to peace and democracy. Mandela was known as a leader who advocated for nonviolent reconciliation. His release inspired hope for a peaceful resolution to the long-standing conflict in the country. After his release, Mandela immediately took the lead in negotiations that resulted in South Africa's first democratic elections in 1994, where he was elected as the nation's first black president. His freedom was not only a personal victory but a triumph for the unity of the people.
Amazing. Not only was he freed, but he was also elected as the president of the country.
Exactly. Nelson Mandela's story is truly inspiring. He didn't just reclaim his freedom, he used it as an opportunity to unite a nation long divided by discrimination. Becoming South Africa's first black president in 1994 was a monumental achievement, not only for him but for all black South Africans who had endured oppression under apartheid. Why was he elected as president? 1. A symbol of hope and unity. Mandela became a symbol of change and unity. Despite his long imprisonment, he harbored no resentment. His message of forgiveness and reconciliation inspired people of all races. He made it clear that peace and understanding were the only paths to building a new South Africa. 2. The fall of apartheid. In 1994, during South Africa's first democratic election where everyone had the right to vote, many South Africans chose Mandela as their leader because he represented their fight for freedom and justice. The African National Congress, ANC, under his leadership, was the main party driving the push for change. 3. His leadership and vision. Mandela was known for his unwavering faith in democracy, equality, and human rights. During his presidency, he launched programs to address the effects of apartheid, such as improving education, housing, and land reform. His leadership as president. As president, Mandela faced immense challenges. He had to unite a nation torn apart by decades of discrimination, promote peace between former adversaries, rebuild South Africa's economy, which had suffered from sanctions during apartheid. Inspiration for all. Mandela's success reminds us that no matter how tough the battle, victory is possible with determination, love for others, and a vision for change. He wasn't just a leader for South Africa, he became an inspiration for the entire world. What do you think your audience would say about this kind of leadership?
Perhaps what our audience and I would say is that we wish our politicians today were like him, honest and genuinely committed to the welfare of the nation.
What a beautiful observation! Nelson Mandela's leadership is indeed inspiring, and you're right, if we saw this kind of honesty and love for the country in our leaders, it would undoubtedly bring significant changes to our nation. What qualities of Mandela should leaders emulate? 1. Integrity. Mandela never sought personal wealth or power. His goal was always the welfare of the majority, not his own interests. Leaders should have a clear purpose to serve the people and not their personal agendas. 2. Compassion. Despite the hardships he endured in prison, he chose to forgive those who oppressed him. If our politicians genuinely cared for every citizen, especially the marginalized, society would be much better. 3. Adaptability to change. Mandela embraced change and used it to unite a racially divided nation. Our leaders should also be open to innovative solutions for the country's pressing problems. 4. Unity. Mandela aimed to eliminate anger and division between races in South Africa. Here, it is also vital for leaders to foster unity despite differing perspectives and backgrounds, promoting harmony instead of discord. Hope for the future. Even though some of our leaders may fall short, we must not lose hope. As citizens, we can also emulate Mandela in our own small ways, by being honest, understanding, and caring for others.
I truly admire Nelson Mandela. He's so different from politicians today. Anyway, thank you so much. I've learned a lot about Nelson Mandela once again. Truly inspiring. Until our next conversation, thank you again.
Thank you as well. It's always wonderful to talk about people like Nelson Mandela who inspire us and remind us of the true meaning of service and love for one's country. Until our next chat, take care always, and may you continue to find inspiration in the stories of great individuals and the lessons they teach us. I'm always here for your next questions or ideas.